Well, hello, it's Qumaya Hildi. This time I'm actually eating something, I'm eating chips. Not chips like crisp, but chips like fries. I have a whole story about potatoes and the Irish and, the time when they were being starved. And that Marilyn Monroe wearing a potato sack, I have a story that's similar to that. I might tell you guys one of these days. But today's story is not about me eating. Usually I'm always smacking. You know why? Because in Somali, when someone speaks, we put actions into everything, right? We use all of our senses. So when you speak, sometimes you gotta taste your words, you know what I mean? Do these words taste nice, you know what I mean? Meaning, am I lying or am I telling the truth? Or am I telling you what is actually going on, right? That's why we do the smacking. Can I taste my own words? Do they sound truthful, right? So that's my little commentary on me smacking my lips or tasting something, right? I'm using my taste buds. So today's story, I have a story that's gonna go with this story that I'm gonna tell, right? Stories upon stories, right? Realities within realities. So when I posted a video talking about the original revolutionaries and the Hollywood version of the stories, right? So I was going about I was actually looking to find a printing place, right? That can print like a photo into a t-shirt, and it was about this guy called Ali, Muhammad Ali, or Dalmar, meaning Pathfinder, who was part of the Somali revolutionaries, right? So I was looking for a place to get those t-shirt printed, right? So I couldn't find it in my neighborhood, and I was looking all over the place, and then finally I stopped at an area where I wasn't even expecting for anything to be there, right? As soon as I walk in, the guy that was working there was like this Spanish looking guy, right, with green eyes, and I'm like, oh my god, the guy I'm carrying his photo and I want a t-shirt printed has green eyes as well. So anyways, we exchanged some words, and I was like, oh, he's our revolutionary from where I'm from, so I like to have his picture printed on a t-shirt. So at that time, I was doing stories on Somali stuff, on TikTok. This was like about a year and a half ago. So that's why I was looking for a printing place where I can, print the picture on a t-shirt when I tell the story on TikTok. And because we were having a conversation, I, told him this is our chi, in our neck of the woods, blah, blah, blah. So I get the t-shirt stuff printed, I leave the photo with them. They took the details and like, come pick it up in a couple of days, blah, blah, blah. So then on my way back home, right, I decided that I was going to go a different route. And then I stopped by at one of these charity shops, or what do you guys call it in the States? Vintage shop, right? I stop at this vintage shop, and guess what? I fucking find the biggest autobiography of Chi. So I'm like, it must, there must be something that's telling me to pick this book up as well, since I'm doing the research on our own chi, right? So then I picked this book up, and I'm reading this book halfway through it, like not halfway through it, it's about 30 pages in. I'm like, this story is very scripted, right? And there's just stuff that just don't add up, right? So yeah, the autobiography is quite a big one, right? And the stories just don't add up, and it just sounds so scripted and, you know what I mean? Like after the fact sort of writings, where different characters are just put into one guy. And I'm like, yeah, and the story is just very similar to that of Muhammad Ali's story, right? So anyways, watch my video on him. Bye.